Welcome to the Homeworkers Network. Now I'm joined by Marcus Boswell, the lean, mean fighting machine. That is Marcus Boswell. Just informing me off air that he has killed his target, his steps target. Of how many? You murdered it. Go on, tell us all about it.
Absolutely slaughtered. So I've got a 10,000. They say 10,000 steps a day will change your life, and I've got a 10,000 step count on a daily basis that I've been trying to achieve. And I'm in what we call a work week hustle. So using the Fitbit, which has been one of our top tech tips in the past, I have been involved via some of my colleagues in this work week hustle, where you're supposed to have as many steps as you can by the end of the week, Monday to Friday. And I was like, I don't know, something very low. It was like, I don't know, 29,000 steps or something for the week, fighting 51, I think, thousand, who was the top guy. Anyway, I looked at this and I thought I'd been very desk bound. I've been working on projects, as you know, so I've been very sort of sedentary. And I decided I would hit it yesterday. So I did 18,000 steps on Wednesday. Stood there sort of not procrastinating, but I was taking a bit of a moment and realized, shit, it's just gone 12 o'clock. So of course the counter reset and I'm back to zero again. So I'm thinking, okay, but I could still see how many I had done for the week. So I sat there just plugging away. And the next thing I know, it was 3 a.m. and I had done, I think it was an additional 10,000 steps for the day. So I basically have just killed today's step count before I even put my head on my pillow. So as we speak, unfortunately, I'm restoring my iPhone, so I can't tell you the correct number, but I believe I was on, I think, 16,000 steps at the moment for today. So, yeah, I'm patting myself on the back. I don't care. It's all good. I'm feeling very, very good right now.
You're making me feel a bit lame, but I do have a good excuse.
Oh, you still got back problems?
Yeah, I've not exercised for a week.
Oh, man, that'll take you out. Definitely.
I told you, didn't I, that I was at me. I was in Tenerife and they had one of these memory foam beds.
You did.
And then as soon as I got back, I had to go to Manchester due to a family problem. And my mum's got one of those memory foam beds in her spare room. So I was on a memory foam bed for a week, right? And then on a normal bed when I got back. And the moment I went on my normal bed, oh, God, my back's been killing me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. The trouble is with my line of work, if I really do myself in, I can't work, and there's no one else that can do it for me. So I've got to be really careful. Although I've been really good with what I'm eating. You know, Christine Bailey, the nutritionist who we've had on here before, is helping me a lot. And for the first time in a long time, I've gone under 17 stone.
That's good. Very good.
I was 17.8 when I started on the 4th of January. That's when my new healthier lifestyle started. So I was 17 stone 8 and I'm now 16.13.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that. But I can't wait. It's easing up my back now. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be able to go for a walk / run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's been going on in your life, Marcus, work wise? What have you got that's exciting other than your health?
Well, one feeds the other, I'm starting to realise. But yeah, it's been very busy work-wise. Obviously, within my responsibility, I need to be interacting with a large number of people across a number of different countries, as we know. And ironically, I was just having some discussions this morning about trying to tie some of that together. You know, we talk about home networking on this show. We talk about tech often. We've started to talk about fitness and how that feeds into it. And I think that's the right thing to do, by the way, because for the people that are sitting there at their desks, not really doing anything, getting that movement and inertia, I've got to tell you, I can hear it even in my voice. You know, I feel like I've only had one coffee, I might add, today. And yet I sound and feel like I've had 10. Because of that energy that I've been able to get from this. And, you know, feeding that back into what's going on with work, I have to say, you know, as you appreciate, when you're working alone and you're driving your own productivity, which is, again, another aspect we talk about a lot, then you have to be on it. And you have to kind of maintain that kind of upbeat vibe, all of the time and sort of stay ahead of things. And that can be tough. So I've certainly been conversing with a number of colleagues, both in the UK and in Europe. And I was talking just this morning with one of them about Trello, ironically, because I was explaining to him, he was saying, look, I've got these things, I'm juggling these plates, I'm doing all these different things. And I was explaining that, you know what? Ironically, he and I work in very much the same way. Although he has a huge responsibility with a lot of different people that kind of look up to him for his subject matter expertise. In the end, he's responsible for a number of different projects, and he has to be able to juggle those projects. And I was saying to him, and I'm sure you can relate, and maybe some of you in the audience when you're listening to this on the playback, or indeed Robert out there. The thing is, sometimes you're having a bad day, maybe even a bad week. Sometimes you're feeling a little bit low and you're not at the height of your powers, and it can be hard to do your best work, right? The Stephen Pressfield kind of, just do the work. It can be tough to do that. And especially when you're like me and you, who are really isolated because you're a remote worker for your company. You predominantly work from home. Yeah. And it can be tough to be motivated. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't have any problems with motivation unless I'm not well. Yeah. But that which leads into the healthiness and the fitness, because the healthier and fitter you are, the less prone you are to sickness. Yeah. And like you say, you stay motivated. I know when I've eaten well, the saying is you are what you eat. And if you eat like shit, you feel like shit, and your productivity goes to shit. Of course, yeah. So you're absolutely right to bring this up, because I think it is important. And although I haven't exercised for a week, I'm still feeling focused, and that is because I'm looking after myself. True, and you know what? It's not always just about getting into the gym and hammering it. So yesterday was exceptional, right? Even by my standards, that was some Superman stuff. Even though I was tired. I was literally buckled over this thing, going like this,
Oh, on your cross trainer?
Yeah.
We're doing it on that?
Yeah, because it was 3 a.m., so there's no running on the streets or walking or anything. I just thought, and I've got to tell you, hands down.
3 a.m.
Yeah, I've had this thing for years, right? It's been a closed horse. It's been through all kinds of iterations in my office. And only because of the Fitbit, which I'm happy to, I feel like Wonder Woman with this thing, right? Only because of this have I been able to combine the two. And then you add the gamification to it when you're talking to, about people who are then, people the people I'm doing this with, right? One of them I used to work with 10 years ago. I saw him in passing in the street 4 years ago, probably. So I haven't spoken to this guy other than that. The other one was actually one of my wife's close friends who grew up 4 doors down. She happened to be here 6 months ago. She's a marathon runner and everything like that. So there's no reason for me to be in the same circles as these people. And yet we have a common denominator, right? They work in different circles. They do different things. To their benefit, they work in a corporate environment where they can walk up that flight of stairs for that meeting, and they can get the badges that you get on the app telling you've done 15,000 steps for the day and rah. Me and you have to go out of our way. It's 10 paces between me and that office, right? I have to go out of my way to put in 18,000 steps. Now, it's not about Marcus the Great, or at least it is for me today, but you understand my meaning.
I'm mate.
Right. It's just like the energy. I can feel it. Seriously, dude, I can feel the pulsing energy going through myself. I feel sharper today. I feel brighter today. I feel up for it today. Those task lists that I typically will put together that will say, okay, this is what I need to do today. Let's be honest. Sometimes we can be a bit kind of overzealous when we put those lists together. We get to the end of the day and we miss things, right? Because again, just tying in that technology and that homeworking vibe, setting tasks and ticking those tasks off makes you feel good about yourself. So I'm telling you, man, I'm sitting there like this at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm approaching 10,000 steps and I'm thinking, I can't believe I've done this, right? Because I remember you've got this bar here. And it's such a shame that I can't show you. Actually, I might be able to. In fact, this is very cool. I can show you. Just give me 1 second, and I'll give you a quick depiction of what I'm talking about here. There's kind of a progress bar that will tell us. There we go. All right. So hopefully you can see this. So
see that.
See Daisy. Didn't mean to do that. 1 second. How do I get back? No. Get back to some normal. Here we go. Dashboard. So this is me for today. All right. All the green is good. Bottom line. And so on. I won't go to the weight and all the rest of it. You don't need to
8.4 miles. Bloody hell.
That's up to now. If it gets to about 20,000 steps, then typically that's about 10 miles. So that's what on a good day I would aim for. But really, my marker is 10,000. I'm good with that. And anybody should be good with that. Now, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. Oh, I've done it again. So if you look now, you can see the stars represent moments when I have hit 10,000, right? So you can see the weekend there. You got Friday, I did it. Then the weekend, it was daddy daycare, relaxation, and I was sat there working on Sunday. And then since Monday, it's been 10,000. I crept in on Tuesday with a 10,000. It was a very weak one. Wednesday, I was going for it, and that's obviously where I did the 18,000 steps. And today, so far, since 3 a.m., I'm 16 going on 17,000 steps. Now, this isn't, as I say, to show Marcus the Great. But the thing I'm saying about that is it's great to be able to measure that increase in activity. And as I'm doing this and I get to that level and I see, when it started, I was way down low and I was thinking, what's this? But as I get close to that line, and I almost wasn't conscious of it until I was just about to step over it. And I stood there, I don't mind telling you, I'm in my office, it's 3 a.m. It's obviously quiet everywhere other than in my office. And I'm like, come on, and it's like, it was ridiculous. Because normally I might go to the gym in the evening, right? Sometimes I might go to the gym in the evening and it's great. You've got people around, you can do the whole sauna jacuzzi thing and that's nice. But I didn't have that opportunity. For me this time, it was about hit your number. And the reason why I wanted to tie this story in to what we're talking about today was that sometimes, right, you'll know this, hitting your number. I've been in sales all my life, okay, up until more recently where I'm much more focused on social. But I'm serving a community of salespeople who have to do what? Hit their number. And you know something? Doing something as small, as simple as that, hitting your personal number, achieving your personal best, it just makes you feel great, right? And you pass that on. I'm giving it out to you, the audience, just to embrace that and take it with you for today. Figure out what it is that you want to hit. Figure out what your number is. Man.
Everyone feels good when they reach a target.
Yeah.
Whether it's a sales target, a fitness target, or any other target. And, it's absolutely great. So well done, mate.
Thank you.
That was that little segment there, that 15 minutes then is enough. If my back is right, I'll be out running tomorrow.
Right, and you know what? You don't have to run. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
No, walk, run, whatever. Just get the step.
If it's walk around the block and come back, that's good enough. As long as you set yourself a target that you hit. Yesterday, I took my kids to school this morning because my wife had a breakfast meeting and whatnot. And, they wanted me to wake up and make them pancakes the day before. So I did that too. And I knew that my youngest son loves milk. I don't have it, but nor does my oldest boy. But he loves milk. And I noticed last night there was no apple juice and there was no milk. And I thought, you know what? This is sort of 10:30 and it's a good mile and a half probably that way. And I was looking, I could have got in my car. Right, I could have got in my car and done this, or I could walk it. And time got away from me. And I ended up having to just take the car down there, pick it up quickly, come back. And
I do that, Marcus. I do exactly that. Because for me, it's an opportunity to stick my headphones in and listen to a podcast that I don't have time to listen to or something like that. So, no, that's fantastic. Listen, we've only got 15 minutes left. I want you to tell me what's on your radar from a tech point of view. A kind of unofficial top tech tips. I know I didn't give you time to prepare for it, but is there anything, even if it's something we've covered before, what are you using right now? What's got you excited?
You should enjoy this one because I will cleverly tie it into what we've been talking about. Now, as we speak, unfortunately, I have had to restore my iPhone because of some nonsense I'm having with it. So I'm doing that.
You're still having problems with it?
Well, I replaced the phone, and I don't know if it's a combination of this new headset and the phone, but I've been having some reports of buzzing, and it's been doing some strange stuff. So I've got Alexa, so I jump in my car, and whether connecting by cable or by Bluetooth, sometimes I'm getting this weird buzzing. This is a new phone; I shouldn't be getting this. So I spoke to them a short while ago, and as usual, it was the update the network settings or restore. So I thought, look, I've been here, I'm well versed. I'll restore it. If I'm still having problems with it, I'll take it back. But you know what? For me, being in Nottingham, it's either Sheffield or Birmingham, and that's like an hour and a half equidistant. So it's a long way to go just to mess around. So I'd rather do it this way. However, top tip. I think today's top tip, to your benefit, is actually about podcasts. Number one, if you're not listening to podcasts, you're crazy, because I've got to tell you, I'm sure you're the same, and the audience out there too. This is a form of podcast in its way by the time you're getting to listen to this, if this is a replay. But, it's such a clever and crucial way to educate yourself. You get to choose the audience. You get to choose the subject. You get to interact. You feel like you know these people, as I'm sure people will feel like they know me and my preferences. But the tech tip in this is not just the concept of podcasts, but actually something that I should have done many years ago, which was listen to the person who advised me on the podcast player. Unfortunately, it's still loading many of them up, so I can't show you. It's got quite a lot of loading to do, I might add. But the app of choice for me is called Instacast. That's Insta.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Okay, now why do I love it? Versus number one, the built-in Apple podcasting app is well known as rubbish. I'm sure it's got better, but it's not as good as these other ones.
I think that's unfair, but
you're possibly right, because I know they have made some changes, but they've made those changes as a result of competing with some of these others. Anyway, for me, Instacast is great for a few different reasons. I'm not interested in the fact that it's also online and all this. Yeah, I get all of that, but I'm not interested in that. What matters to me is that when I'm ready to plug in, I've got what I need. What I love about it is the search facilities are fantastic. You can search for a word in amongst all. I mean, I looked yesterday and I had 480 something hours of podcasts to listen to, which is just nuts. Amongst, I don't know, quite a number, like 20 or something different shows. And I can move the order of those shows in the order of importance to who I am and what I'm interested in. So there's a productivity section, there's a social media section, there's a time management section, there's all this type of stuff. And what's great for me is I can set and create smart playlists. So I can say, today I've got 30 minutes, give me a show that's going to fit within that, which is quite cool. And again, it will follow that order. I could search for a word. Like, for example, if we were interested in blab, I could search for the word blab. And it would, if anybody has written in their show notes the word blab, then boom, it will give me all of those shows. So there's a chance I'll be able to just get myself gemmed up quickly there. Of course, I listen to everything at ×3 because regular speed.
I have that ability in the podcast app that I use, but I don't use it purely and simply because I just like to listen to it in the way it was recorded. And I'll do it if it's bad audio, because then it doesn't matter. But if it's good audio, I think, if these people have invested the money in getting decent microphones and all that, I like to hear it. But that's just a personal thing.
Hey, listen, I'm with you. I understand that. I just feel like it's funny because I posted this article a couple of days ago, not mine, by the way. I didn't write it, but it was some commentary on sort of, bingo words in the office that we should stop saying. So I'm trying to stop saying bandwidth, and reach out and things like that. But for this last time, I don't have the bandwidth for the amount of things that I need to actually do. It's called Instacast. Instacast, that's the name of the app. So I don't have the bandwidth, and I find it's great to be able to plug in and really take on board that amount of information, and really suck up what the knowledge of those particular podcasts. And as you know, when you're listening back to shows that you haven't had the opportunity, they do pile up. And when you're used to the format of a show, you can very much switch off. Your brain is incredibly competent and much, much brighter than any kind of tech you could ever imagine. So sometimes, and I say this to my wife, if we're on a long journey somewhere, she gets incredibly upset with me if all of a sudden this talking rapidly at 3 times the speed comes on. And I'll say to her, look, just relax and, breathe it in and just let it go to your head. And she's not having any of it. But there are times when I catch her out and I kind of increase the speed gently and she didn't notice, and then all of a sudden
it doesn't notice it.
And I said this because you've got used to it, right? And that's just how we get. So that's me anyway. I don't want to overshadow. Now,
have you tried Overcast?
I've heard a lot about Overcast, and for that reason, I looked into it just yesterday to see. But look, I'm willing to learn.
Just so you know, Marcus, that's not my top tech tip, but I've just thought of one because I hadn't prepared one, and I will do a podcast one as well. But but I just wanted to give just for those watching live and those who will listen to the recording after, an alternative podcast app, and that is Overcast. Now I use Overcast. Yeah, it's a phenomenal app and very stable. But also, what I love about it is its simplicity. Its UI is incredible. And I also like the way that the community, the Overcast community, can, I suppose, vote on that. You know, they can say, right, they recommend this podcast that they're listening to. And if a lot of people, it's got like a crowdsourcing vibe to it. So if lots of people rate the particular podcast, it goes higher up in the directory, so people see it first, and so on. And I really like that element to it. So yeah, definitely Overcast. Check that out as an alternative to Instacast. Yeah. And I do use the Apple Podcast app. Mainly to listen and watch video podcasts, because I watch quite a lot of the This Week in Tech podcast from America with Leo Laporte and Matt Brate Weekly, and I actually listened to and watched them twice. So I watched them first, and then I listened to it.
Interesting. Well, you got time
without if I can. I don't always have the time.
The thing is, they're educational and they help, right? So you do whatever it takes to get the information in, and I think so many people don't. Whatever the vehicle you use, whether it's Instacast, the Overcast, or whatever you use, I think the most important thing is that you actually take action and figure out who's out there, because there's so much. Yeah. I mean, even you mentioned. I'm sorry, I forget your colleague's name. With the health and wellness food.
Christine Bailey.
Christine, right. You mentioned Christine. Now, I plugged into Christine's podcast, right? I plugged into her stream of activity, and boom, all of a sudden I feel like I'm a part of what it is that she does. I understand
where she's coming from. Very, very good. Yeah. Okay, so I'm glad you brought up podcasts. Funnily enough, when we finish this today, I'm off to one of my clients to record a podcast. Now, the client is a pub. But it's not any ordinary pub. This is a high-end gastro pub, 5 AA rosettes, Michelin star, all that sort of stuff. They've got a wine merchant and a hotel as well attached to the pub/restaurant. And I'm going to be doing a podcast with the head chef this afternoon. Wow. Yeah. Now, what I want to demonstrate. So my top tech tip is, first of all, it is so easy to record a podcast. I don't think people realize actually how easy it is. So I'm going to give a couple of top tech tips in that. First of all, use the hello, Charlene, how you doing? She says, don't do that. Well, I'm going to do it because I wanted to say hi. My top tech tip is, as the platform, use Audio Boom rather than SoundCloud.
Interesting.
SoundCloud is probably the market leader, but there's a UK company called Audio Boom, BOOM. I would recommend those. Those guys are great. You get 10 minutes free for every podcast. If you need more than that, then you can pay for a premium. But 10 minutes is normally enough for a quick interview.
Does that compare with SoundCloud? I'd recommend. Do you have to pay for SoundCloud as well, or?
You do have to pay for SoundCloud as well, a pro version of it. Audio Boom competes as well. It's better all round in my view. I use it for all my podcasts. But they also is how I record my podcasts, and that is with an app, because I haven't got it on me, actually. My iPhone's downstairs. I left it in the kitchen. But I have my iPhone 6 Plus with a Rode IXI mic that plugs onto the bottom of it.
Quite nice. Actually.
Yeah, and I record my podcast from my device using an app called Twisted Wave. Okay, and then I edit it using that app and publish it using the app straight from the phone.
So Twisted Wave sounds awesome.
Hang on a minute. Just let me finish quickly, Marcus. Last night, in my role as a local authority councillor, I attended a planning applications committee last night. It was a highly contentious committee. with members of the public screaming and shouting from the public gallery. There was protests. You name it, we had it all last night. The media were there, the local media from the Trinity Mirror Group. Trinity Mirror are a big media outlet. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put a link in there to a blog post that I published last night, straight after the committee, which included the audio from that committee, as well as a video. Okay. And I managed to publish that. And I've just looked while you were talking earlier. I just had a look just to make sure I'm getting my facts straight here. And I looked on the Trinity Mirror local website. They still haven't published their content.
Really?
Yeah, I published mine. I published mine 10 minutes after the committee had finished. So we're nearly at. If you think it it'll be 12 hours. We're at 13 hours, and they still haven't published. Yeah, I published 10, 15 minutes after the committee.
Wow. And that just goes to show how quickly that can be done.
Absolutely. Sorry, you had a question.
It was really just relating to this Twisted Wave that you mentioned. I only say that because I don't think a lot of people realize how easy it is to use the built-in record facility that comes with...
But it doesn't... The problem with that, though, Marcus, is it doesn't record in MP3. So what that means is that it uses some weird codec that Apple create. It's a M4 R file or something like that. Okay. And the problem, it's a lossless codec. But the problem with that is that it's about productivity. You record it using that. You've then got to convert it before you edit it.
Yeah.
And then when you've edited it, so it's another step in the cycle where if you use this app, and as apps go, Twisted Wave is actually quite an expensive app. It's $7.99.
Oh, really?
But for me, in my role, in my sort of as a broadcaster and podcaster, where most of the podcasts I record, unlike this one, I actually record out in the field. Yeah. That extra step, that extra element added, is just slows me down.
Right, I can understand that. I would say two things. I mean, one, I've written Twisted Wave there. If you can link to it somehow, that would be awesome. And also the device that you plug into the iPhone, that would also be good to know. That's really useful to know. But I do say again, I mean, I know this is one of those situations where, like you tell me, not everybody knows that, and they don't want to go the extra mile. I think that a lot of people, just for basic recordings, I've been blown away by the iPhone's recording, and I do believe I've managed to get MP3 out of it, by the way, for me. But then again, that might be because I'm running it via it escapes my I'll tell you what it's called, Audacity. So typically I will record it, push it out to Audacity, and then turn it into an MP3. So perhaps you're right. But what fascinates me about the recordable facility on the iPhone itself is that you can edit on the fly. You can take things out. That's incredible. The fact that you can do all of that within the actual native iPhone app is, to me, so many people just have no idea that that's even possible. So I think that's a really useful way.
Oh, no, it's great. And it's getting better as well with various updates and stuff. And I'm sure it will get there because, after all, Apple are the creative smartphone of choice, really, or creative, but not just smartphone, but all their technology is all aimed at the creative. So the better they can make it, if Apple provided what Twisted Wave provides for me, I would use it. I'd use the native one without a doubt. It's like iMovie. I mean, I have I have various different video editors on my laptop here, including the high-end ones, but I tend to use iMovie for everything because it's just so easy and simple.
Yeah.
It serves the purpose, so why not?
Dude, I'm sorry, I've hit my hard stop at 1,300 hours.
No worries.
It's been a pleasure.
Marcus, thank you for taking part. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who was watching live, and for the audience who will be watching afterwards the recordings. They'll be available on YouTube, on our Facebook page, on our podcast channel, pretty much everywhere. Just search for the hashtag Home Workers Network. Thank you very much. And guys, enjoy your day. Go get your energy on. It's the way forward, I'm telling you. Thanks, Marcus. And thanks for keeping it to time. I appreciate that. Hey, cheers. My pleasure. My pleasure.